Hey friends, I'm out here in Chandler Park, and I want to tell you about an incredible milestone we just crossed in this campaign. More than 10,000 of you have now signed up to volunteer since we first kicked off last year.
Corporations, they're ruining America, polluting our land, and buying our elections. And no election is this more apparent than the Michigan Senate primary, where Haley Stevens has been funded to the tune of 48 million clams, largely from private equity groups such as AIPAC, to attack Abdul El-Sayed. And the Abdul smears just keep on coming, with him being labeled a misogynist, a terrorist sympathizer, and other heinous accusations. But in spite of it all, Abdul El-Sayed keeps up the good fight and continues to grow his base, hitting 10,000 volunteers just today, $4.5 million raised in Q2 alone, 200 endorsements and counting, and over 460 total live events. He is just not slowing it down. And just check out this moment on CNN where he continues to push forward his message against Israeli apartheid.
So do you think that the Israeli government should be considered by the U.S. as a foreign terrorist organization?
It's certainly a rogue state. I mean, they did a genocide, Manu. I just want to ask you, like, what about doing a genocide is not evil in your book? Baseline, they do apartheid.
And that's not all. Abdul has been receiving a ton of support from the left flank coalition as Stevens ramps up her egregious spending and attacks against him. Over the weekend, Abdul will hold rallies with both Bernie Sanders and AOC, expecting to draw in thousands of energized voters ready to beat Stevens in this primary. There's 3 different locations. It's going to be huge. And when asked why AOC would go out to bat and support Abdul when he's in a swing state, it may not actually succeed, right? She had this to say.
Keep it to the issues if we want to say what specifically it is, but I don't ascribe to the idea that a Muslim can't win, that a woman can't win, that a white person can't win. I don't ascribe to these ideas. I ascribe to what a person is talking about. And Abdul El-Sayed is not taking corporate money. He wants every American in Michigan to have health care. He wants their wages to go up. He is endorsed by the United Auto Workers, one of the most powerful unions in America, and certainly the most powerful union in the state of Michigan. So working people are standing with him. And I think that's that's the case.
And AOC is exactly right. Now, Abdul is going to have a major uphill climb because he is being outspent 10, 20, 30 to 1 in some markets, and Haley Stevens is going dirty. She's been using this old Obama quote from over 8 years ago to try to imply that she has this explicit endorsement from Barack Obama when she does not. Here's a picture of it right here when he says that she was a critical part of my team. Well, that quote is from over 8 years ago, and so some people are calling this out, saying the crazy thing is that if Steven wins, some people will claim that centrism was more popular, when really it's super PAC spending $50 million to pretend Obama endorsed Stevens and smearing Sayed with false accusations. Then also Kyle Kulinski jumping in on this, saying Haley Stevens has been sending out misleading flyers that imply Obama endorsed her. He didn't, and it appears to be working. Very unethical and dirty, but they were never going to play fair. Never play fair indeed. And Haley Stevens has even ramped up the attacks even more, directly attacking Abdul from her own personal social accounts online, saying, I'd like to remind Abdul that aspirational goals aren't real results. There's only one candidate that's delivered real legislation to lower healthcare costs for Michiganders, and that's me. But Abdul claps back to this in a beautiful way, saying, I see. Aspirational goals aren't real results because we've erased tens of millions of the hundreds of millions of medical debt our program is on track to erase for 300,000 Michiganders. So tell me, how much medical debt have you erased, Congresswoman? God damn, Abdul, regardless of all of this spending and money and smears and attacks and AIPAC slander, Abdul El-Sayed continues to fight, continues to push back, and the people really are on his side. And as Rokana says here, this election has a chance to make history. Take a look.
It's very rare that in an election you can make history. It's very rare that in an election in one state you can actually make and change the direction of American foreign policy in this country. But Michigan, you can bend history. What happens here is going to matter for the entire country. And when you make Abdul the senator, you will be sending an unspeakable message to America that we need a change of our foreign policy, that we need a change of our domestic policy, and that we're a beautiful multiracial democracy.
And Roe is 100% correct. This election has national and international implications, and Stevens is the wrong choice. Just plain and simple. As Hassan Piker points out here, Abdul might just be the best candidate running in not only this race, but all of the races across the United States in this cycle. Take a look.
He is fast, efficient, straight to the point. I mean, what else can you say, man? He's just fucking good. That's why I have consistently said Abdul El-Sayed, I think as far as his background goes, is perhaps one of the most impressive candidates in this cycle, like across the nation.
And it's kind of true. El-Sayed is where the Democratic Party needs to be heading. Money out of politics, Medicare for all, separating ourselves from Israel. These are policies that we need to start adopting en masse. And when it comes to Israel, we may just be getting there, right? More and more Democratic politicians are finally beginning to realize that it's actually popular policy to start divesting from Israel. Like just today, it was announced that motherfucking Nancy Pelosi is a yes vote on Thomas Massey's amendment to cut $3.3 billion in aid to Israel. Nancy Pelosi. She writes, "The United States must be a force for security and stability. The American people are rightly demanding an end to a perpetual cycle of war, and the Netanyahu government cannot maintain its current course. Therefore, while this amendment is ill-conceived, I vote yes for the message that it sends." So, even though that she's been tiptoeing around it and maintains a strong tie to Israel, an action like this would have been completely inconceivable just a few years ago. And that's largely in part due to all of the activists, organizers, and politicians like Abdul helping to push this message and make it politically viable for politicians to join in on this actual good policy position. Here is Jennifer Welch with a little bit more on that front. Take a look.
Sending this aid to Israel is not popular because, particularly in the Democratic base, we're not a cult. We see the evidence. We see that Israel kills journalists. We see that Israel kills little kids. We see that Israel commits war crimes every single day. And call us crazy, we don't want our taxpayers funding war crimes. But Hakeem Jeffries is accepting PAC donations while at the same time saying we need to get corporate PAC money out of politics. You can't have it both ways.
Always got to throw a little bit of shade for Hakeem Jeffries right there, because this guy is completely selling out now. It's just like, it's so insane. We definitely need some new leadership within the Democratic Party, and it cannot be him. And speaking of that, check out this clip of AOC, again, just teasing just a little bit of a presidential run come 2028. Take a look.
I was just gifted a book that I'm about to crack open called Boss Lincoln.
Boss Lincoln.
About kind of the lost years where Lincoln left office and he was kind of building a political machine before he ran for the presidency. And so that was a book that I was gifted.
Oh, just some casual reading about when a state politician was building a new political movement and then went on to become the president of the United States. Yeah. How does that relate to someone we might know again? But rounding back to Abdul real quick, remember when Haley Stevens was constantly pestering him about his tax returns because he was hiding something? Well, just wanted to update everyone on his tax returns. He's released them, and it turns out that he's probably roughly worth about $1.7 million, which is a lot of money, but the guy is a doctor after all, and this is combined with his wife's worth as well. However, this person points out makes a really good argument online. They say, Haley Stevens has made a giant deal about El-Sayed's tax returns. Turns out his net worth would rank him about 218th in Congress, right in the middle, a complete nothing burger. Meanwhile, Haley Stevens has spent 3 times El-Sayed's net worth on an ad spend this week alone. Yeah, so it kind of makes it pretty clear which side actually has moneyed interests in their, vested in them winning this race. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the poll, okay, which does have El-Sayed down at 7 points. This is one poll. Now, this poll looks daunting, but fear not, okay, because experts have said that this poll is likely a Stevens internal, which will always favor her more. It was conducted by Phone, which largely excludes a larger, younger demographic that is extremely pro El-Sayed. The Phone polling largely favors more older older moderate voters. And the favorability rating of El-Sayed, even in this poll, is +11 over Stevens. So a lot of people who are undecided or just looking at this race from the outside will definitely be more likely to lean towards El-Sayed. So in short, stay strong, right? Stay optimistic, because youth turnout will be a major decider in this election. And if you can, be sure to donate. Be sure to phone bank and volunteer for the campaign if you can. There are so many ways to help this campaign become a victory right before primary day. And if you want Abdul in the Senate, be sure you subscribe to USDS for more news like this. I'm Iago Lashua. Have a great day. Goodbye.